This is the city of Helvoetsluis
in the south of Holland. In the 17th century, it was the base for the entire Dutch Navy, and from this very point, some of the biggest battles in naval history were launched.
On this massive piece of water behind us is a herring fleet, 25 miles long, 3 miles wide, and this weekend a battle of a very different type is going to be taking place. This is the World Predator Classic.
For 3 days, the Dutch town of Helvoetsluis is taken over by some of the best lure anglers in the world. This is the biggest event of its kind anywhere. It starts with a parade through the town, both on foot and in the water. 22 different countries are represented, including the USA. There are 3 different competitions taking place at once. One for kayak fishing, another called street fishing. It's where anglers fish this inland canal from the bank. The third is the big one though, and there's nothing quite like it anywhere else.
This is a high-level fishing competition. I see many good anglers, so the level is high. Yeah.
This is a great event. So many boats all over Europe. Fantastic that we have a competition like this.
I've been involved in lots of internationals over the years, general course fishing, match fishing. So this is on a different level. I mean, it's like being in America, but it's just a ferry ride away.
Yeah, we come from Romania a long way. I think that we have 2,500 kilometers from here with the car and the boats and all the stuff. It was like crazy, you know.
If anything, I'm very honored to meet the big names from Europe, and everyone here is so nice. It's been so great to talk to everyone about their different techniques and the different bodies of water that they fish. Just, you know, the whole entirety of it compared to what we do in the United States. It's just been an all-around great experience.
There are 46 boats on show, and some of them are a little bit special. Isn't this magnificent? This is the type of thing we're talking about, the sort of thing we just don't see in European fishing. I mean, this is an 18-footer, a nitro, and it looks fast.
This boat that we're standing right here is a bass boat, actually made for bass tournaments in the US.
The way that it's set up, you've got an electric trolling motor on
the front of the boat, you've got fish finders. Just explain to us how it all works together to get you more fish on the boat.
The electronics is a really important tool. You can see a lot these days. It has down scan, side scan, so you can also see to the sides, and it's combined with the trolling motor so that you have a spotlight scan. So you can actually see 360 degrees around what's where you're casting, what's in front of you, what's behind of you, what's right and what's left of you. And yeah, it has a 250 horsepower engine, so it gets you from one place to the other fishing spot really quickly. And it has got 2 power poles, shallow water anchors. They go down to 2.40 meters in depth, and they just hold you in place, even if the wind is coming from the side, so you can perfectly fish your spot.
So, lots of toys, and technology plays a huge part in every single fish that's caught. Only 3 species count: pike, perch and zander. But it's the way they're measured that's interesting.
How are the fish recorded? What happens when somebody catches a fish?
Obviously, when a fish is recorded, obviously they take the fish out of the water, put it on the measuring board, which they have. Each one is individually numbered to the boat. They have a security tag, which they then need to place a sticker depending on which fish it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Tick who has caught the fish, either the captain or the vice captain, put the security tag against the fish so it's clearly visible, take the picture with their phone, with their smartphone, fill in the details of how long it was, whether it's a zander, perch or pike, add the picture to the app and then send.
And this is where technology takes over, isn't it? Because it comes straight into HQ from wherever they are. So how long does it take from the catching of a fish to the updating of a scoreboard?
Within seconds.
So day one is underway on the herring fleet. The anglers practice in the days leading up to the competition, and they're split to fish in separate zones over the first 2 days. To the east, the Rapala zone. To the west, Shimano. Both have their challenges, and with a piece of water this size, one of them is simply how fast you can get to the fishing spots that worked well in practice. Some of these boats, though, reach speeds of 100 kilometers an hour. When fish are caught, they're measured, photographed with a tag, then safely returned to the water. Those pictures are instantly sent back to event headquarters, then uploaded to the leaderboard. Points are awarded per centimetre. Each boat has to catch 1 pike, 3 perch and 3 zander per session to score maximum points. It was clear it had been a better day for some than for others.
You can never determine a winner after day one, that is for sure. Things can change, the conditions are changing. Yesterday we had wind, today we have no wind, and then tomorrow the direction will change and it's going to be extremely windy. So, people get frustrated, and that can be a big game changer for anglers, and I know that from many years of experience. If they're frustrated after day one, and they had a good day one, but they get frustrated, you lose your head on the water.
It can be very, very difficult. Sometimes you can go out, the perch will be on, then the zander will be on. It seems to be pike are the things that people are struggling to get at the moment. We certainly are. Practice days, that was the main fish that we struggled to get, was getting hold of the pike. But it's down to tactics at the end of the day.
We got 3 perches, 3 zanders. In about 2 hours, we have almost 5 hours to catch a pike, but I couldn't do it. So it's very, very, very difficult, actually.
It's very fickle. You can go in there, catch a lot of fish training, catch nothing in the actual event. And I think Lady Luck has a huge slice in the end result, but the cream will rise to the top. So the top 5 boats will be all the cream of Europe's boat anglers.
In the Rapala section after day one, the German pairing of Gregor Pauli and René Lurer in boat 22 were leading. The combined measure for their fish was 405 centimetres. Jürgen Haas and Dustin Schoen were second. Poland's Robert Policha and Tomek Kryjak were third. In the Shimano section, it was Willem Stolk and Chris Blomert from the Netherlands leading. Latvia's Ugis Grosch and Huntis Rexkins were second. Valdas Skabluskas and Ivan Van Preyck were third. Last year's winners Luke Coppens and Jeremy Staverman were back in fourth in the Shimano section. Their fish measured 305 centimetres, and crucially, they'd failed to catch a pike. Their dream of defending their title remained alive, but only just.
To win it twice would be a fantastic dream. Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible, but it's very difficult. But you know how it works in fishing. It's fishing. You need a little bit of luck. You have to fish very good, but you can have bad luck. You can lose a few fish, they can stay on. That changes a lot in the results. But we go for it. We go for it. We go for it hard.
But so will the other anglers as they switch sections for the second day. The second day of the World Predator Classic is about to get underway. There are 46 boats here waiting to unleash a combined total of 12,000 horsepower, and the clock is ticking.
Well, here we are. This is it. The start is about to take place. It's a beautiful day out here, isn't it? Look at that machinery.
I know, and this is one of the most exciting bits of it. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. 1, go. Day 2's underway.
That's it. And look at that, they're off. There's a fair amount of power there, and they will be charging out now to the various different sections. Lucky John is in the lead, just ahead of Markcraft 496 over there. It's Lake Hunter. And you know what? We're going to go with them, because this is what this style of fishing is about. It's fast, it's exciting, and my word, what can we say? No other fishing event in Europe is like this. Normally it's 3, 2, 1, stop. This is action central.
I think we're really lucky with the weather today. One of the challenges that the guys face, you'll see the different kinds of boats. You've got some that have got a really shallow draft that skim across the surface. If it's choppy, if there are lots of waves, it's very windy, they really struggle with the conditions. Well, look at it, it's like a sheet of glass. What a stunning venue this is.
It's very interesting indeed, looking at everybody shooting off in the same direction. Now, they've clearly got a bit of information, and that information was that yesterday there were fish caught on the far bank.
They know where the fish are, and it's so important for them to get a good start. I mean, they've got to catch 3 different species. So they've got to catch pike, they've got to catch zander, and they've got to catch perch. What you'll find is the decision about what you go for first can make or break your day.
It's going to be a tough day today as well, actually, looking at these weather conditions. I think early doors we might see some fish, but through that middle section it's going to be tough. The fish presumably will be heading off out of the bright clear water into the weedier areas, and that's where the shallow draft boats will have an advantage. They're going to be getting in there.
Got the roar of the engine behind us. Isn't this fantastic?
So we finally caught one of the boats up, and behind us is the Romanian pairing of Cristian Albu and Dorian Dobovoy. It's a long old way from Romania to come up here, particularly towing a boat on a trailer, but they've got into position first. We have an interesting story about them, because,
well,
Andy...
the speed the guys were moving this morning, we're trying hard to keep up with them. There are speed limits in place here, and if you do go too fast, you do get a speeding ticket, which leads to a yellow card and can actually get you disqualified from the whole competition.
Absolutely.
So if they go too fast and they get caught doing it. But that's the delicate balance that you've got in a competition like this. It's so important to cover as much water as they can to find the fish. And you've got 3 species to catch, as we've already mentioned, so you have to go and find them. So you don't want to spend too much time travelling. You want to spend your time fishing.
There's no blue lights and flashing sirens or anything like that chasing them around. We tried to keep up with them and couldn't. But they've now got one of the pole positions, and we know from the GPS tracking yesterday that quite a few fish were caught early on in this area. There's quite a few perch around here. It's great perch territory. Weather conditions, actually, we thought earlier on, might be a little bit tough today, but they will be later on. But there's a nice bit of haze on, bit of ripple on the water. It's not quite as flat calm as it was, and I think there's probably going to be a few fish caught pretty early on now. Let's consider what they're doing now, Andy. What do you think they're going to be doing at the moment?
Well, they'll be jigging. They'll be trying to catch perch. They'll be using small soft plastics with jig heads, trying to explore the layers of the water. The 3 sort of key factors you've got here are depth, colour of lure, speed of retrieve. We'll see a lot more about that later on. We'll speak to the anglers and see what's been working today. But in these conditions, because it's bright and sunny, what you tend to find is the predator fish tend to follow the bait fish. Bait fish in these conditions, bright and sunny, they're very visible. So they'll go and hide. They'll try and find a feature, like you were saying, a weed bed, a structure, to disappear under, so they're out of the way of the predators. And the predators will hunt. Perch hunt by sight. They have very good eyesight. They're very mobile, they're very fast, they're very, very aggressive. The pike in here are enormous. And remember, the ratio of fish to catch, 3 perch, 3 zander. Now, there are a big zander in here too, and 1 pike. Yesterday they struggled to try and find the pike.
It begs the question straight away, where do you start? Now, on day 1, that's a very difficult one. On day 2, they've got that advantage because they saw what fish came out of which area. The main thing is, they're all out now. Yeah. It's a lovely day.
It's gorgeous.
There's going to be some sport, and this is what this event is about. And we have the joint leaders of the event. They were in the Shimano section yesterday and won that. They were in the Rapala section now. This is
William Stoke and Chris Blummett. Had a fantastic day yesterday. Maximised their species hunt. They had their 3 zander, 3 perch and an 84-centimetre pike, but things not going quite so well for them today, Rob. They've only had one
zander, isn't it? Yes, it's been a little bit slower in this section than the other section. But they're very, very tight. They're fishing just off this rocky promontory here. Fishing very tight up to the edge, going right into the shallow water.
Well, it's 10 metres here, but as we know from all of these little sections, the sort of the slopes leading up, I fancy they're trying to get zander here.
Now here's a team that are doing very well indeed, Andy. This is Team boat number 5, Frans Bodum and Morten Beck-Nielsen from Denmark, and they've had a rather large pike, and they've had a contingent of 3 perch already.
Yeah, a pike in excess of 90 centimetres already, one of very few caught this morning, and they've had their 3 perch. So what they're doing now clearly is vertical jigging for zander. They only need to catch 3 zander and then they're done. Obviously they've had a fantastic morning.
Just looking at Frans there, the way he's holding his rod, it's a very interesting style. That's a pencil method, isn't it? Holding it like a pencil, they call that. A lot of finesse in this style.
The presentation's everything, as in all sorts of fishing. Get the presentation wrong, you don't get takes.
Well, here they are, the current event leaders, Luke Coppins and Jeremy Staverman, defending champions. Great day yesterday. Proved to be a good day today as well.
Fantastic day today. They've had 2 perch, 42 and a 35, a 65 centimetre zander, and, amazingly, an 82 centimetre pike. So they really are flying. No wonder they're leading here in the Rapala zone today. Interesting tactic that they're employing on
back trolling,
yeah,
is it?
Just drifting. See the trolling motor at the front of the boat there, the little electric motor, just ticking over and gently pushing the boat back. So just allowing you to cover a vast amount of water very precisely. Lovely, easy pace. Nice way of fishing that, Rob. In the Shimano zone, the Finnish pairing of Markku Chusonen and Antti Anttila are leading the way. They're one of 2 boats here to catch all 3 species, including this 71 centimetre zander. The other is Chris Boxberger and Mark Hoban in boat 26. This 38 centimetre perch landed by Chris is their best of the day.
And there we are, fish on, Andy.
This is an exciting moment, Luke Coppins. Yep. Fish landed. We've just steamed an awfully long way to see these 2 guys try and maintain their lead in this competition.
Looks like it's a zander, and interestingly, it came very, very quickly after a move of position. They'd sat on that spot that we were watching for some time, not caught anything, decided to move. We've come quite a long way right down to the very, very end of the sector, and they've had a bite, or a strike, should I say, within a very, very, very quick period of being here.
The interesting thing here is that these guys are right on the edge. So we have 2 zones. We have the Rapala zone and the Shimano zone, and they are actually on the borderline. If they went another couple of 100 yards to port, they would be in the wrong zone and they would be in trouble. But it just goes, push the boundaries and you can actually get the results you need. And that's a really exciting moment. They need 2 zander. So that's one of them.
And look at that, straight back on there again.
Well, of course, zander are shoalfish, aren't they? And they need 1 more. Once they've fulfilled that, the criteria that they need, then of course then go hunting for bigger fish and get their points score up.
It's a great system, isn't it?
It's
because
fantastic.
it's not a case where you can just go out and catch lots of 5 centimetre fish and make up a big length. What you've got to do is you've got to go out and you've got to catch 3 of your perch, 3 of your zander, 1 of your pike. And then once you've filled your quota, then go out and try and catch the bigger ones. So they've got a great comfort blanket. Once they get another one, they've got a great, great comfort blanket. Nobody's filled the quota so far as we're aware today.
A bit warm for a blanket.
Oh, there we are. There's a strike, and yes, he's in again. Look at that.
Fantastic angling. It's great to be here to see this, isn't it? This is why these guys are the defending champions of this event.
Is it there? It's there and it's in.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a
happy with that. That's a big fish. That is a big fish.
So that's the end of day 2. Perhaps that dream of winning back-to-back titles isn't so unlikely after all. And their secret? Getting the right lure to ensure perfect presentation for those tricky zander. Guys, you've had a fantastic day today. We followed you for a very long way. And when you stopped, it was very obvious you found some fish. You knew that there was a good area. You had a couple of casts, and then there was a moment when both of you had a little chat together, and you just ran to the back of the boat, you did something, you both changed something, and within, I don't know, 3-4 winds, fish on, lovely zander. So what I want to know is what you did, how it changed, what your tactical decision there was, and why you made it. Luke, can you explain what happened?
Yeah. I put my boat on anchor on 10 meter, and I was casting to 7 meter. So I was fishing with the shed, with shetties, with 10 gram lead head, and on the way it was going down. I felt it goes too slowly, and I said
just the drop through the water.
Yeah. It took me too long time to get it to the bottom. Yeah, and when it's coming to the bottom, I wind up for 1 meter, and then I let it go again to the bottom. But it was too slowly, and I had a feeling. It's always a feeling you have that the sender wants to go fast for it today. So I said to Jeremy, let's change, because he was also fishing with 10 gram. I said, let's change to 14 gram. It's a little bit more, not too heavy. I don't want it too quickly going down, because my shed needs to go down like a parachute, if you know what I mean. If it is going too fast, the sender cannot focus. They need to see a chance to take it. Yeah? And we changed to 14 gram, and I did the first cast, and I had strike immediately. And I said, yes, we have it, we have the system. And the bites are like, if you hold your rod, it's like, boom, somebody's hit it with a stick, so hard they are, because they come from far, they really want it. It's fantastic. The relief you must have had, because you guys have worked so hard for that fish, and you've thought those 2 fish out from that, but you had to steam a very long way to get there, didn't you? I mean, yeah. When you knew it had worked, Jeremy, what was your feeling?
Yeah, relief, as you said. That's because it was so difficult today. You can see on the leaderboard, and we tried. It was the third or fourth spot we tried, and we really tried the other spots. We had a strike in one of the spots, but a light strike was not enough. And finally, bingo. So yeah. You may be the only crew that have had a full house. You've had all the species. This puts you in a very, very good position. When you get in this boat tomorrow morning, you've got a lot at stake here. It will be very difficult for me to sleep. And the thing is, I will not be tired. I'm not tired tomorrow from the adrenaline. It's unbelievable. You have to be in this position to feel it. It's unbelievable. I think it's top sport.
So here are the standings at the end of the second day. Confirmation that Luke Coppens and Jeremy Staverman led their half of the draw with 391 centimetres. In the other section, it was the Finns with an impressive 410. It was all to play for on the final day.
It's upon us very, very soon, and I've got a pair of the joint leaders with me now. Boys, this is it. It's a big day today, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a big day. Today it's got to happen.
Today it needs to happen. Yeah.
It needs to happen.
Very excited.
There's big smiles. You're looking forward to a good day's angling.
Yeah, we want to fish. Yeah.
I really think I'm gonna catch a big pike. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Are you feeling the pressure?
It's not too bad. It's not too bad, to be honest. I'm quite relaxed. I had a good sleep. Yeah, I feel good.
What would it mean to you to win this event?
Oh, it's our dream to win this game. So, and we have done a lot of homework for this game. We've been here practicing together 3 weeks, so it means a lot.
How excited were you yesterday? When did you started to realise this is working?
Immediately when you catch the first fish, you know that now it's rocking, because you get a good feeling, you fish well, and you're very confident that this is going to be our day.
To win it last year was brilliant. To be in this position on the final day of the second event is incredible. Do you think you can make it too? Is it one hand on the trophy now?
No, we cannot say that. We're gonna fish very hard, and just fish very hard and fish very focused. That's what I'm gonna do, and then we will see. We will see what happens.
So there we are. It's just a couple of minutes now before the start, and it's getting very exciting. There's a lot of machinery out there, and there's an awful lot for grabs, isn't there?
Do you know the most exciting thing? On the last day of the competition, they're all in one zone, and they're going to open the throttles, and
it's going to be carnage. It is going to be carnage.
Absolutely love it.
shallow draft bass boats, which are very, very fast, but they will take on a lot of water. And boats like Luke Coppins, they've got boats which have got higher sides, they take on less water, but can't move as fast. The interesting thing, though, is the co-leaders, the Finnish team, have a sea boat. Now, obviously, conditions like this are perfectly suited for Markku and Antti, so it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see who comes out on top.
Well, we found them. There's boat 6 with Markku and Antti on board. The news so far is that Luke Coppins has had a zander. These guys, their gamble has paid off. They've already had a pike around 80 centimetres. Pike, the most difficult species to catch in the competition. Now they're on a search for zander and perch. Off they go. Well, we saw a couple of strikes a minute ago, and it hasn't taken long for one of those to be converted into a hookup. Now, can Antti land this fish for Markku? Net goes in.
Whoa!
High five! First zander, job done. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant piece of angling. These guys know this water inside out. Well, we finally found Luke Coppins, and he's in the red jacket. You can clearly see he's playing a fish. This is massive. This is where this match stands and falls. Has he lost it?
No.
No, he's landing it? He's landing it?
in the boat.
It's in the boat. He's safely landed it. Jeremy's put the net under it. Just a little bit of explanation going on between the two of them. Not sure exactly what they're talking about. So much pressure on these two. They were joint leaders overnight. I can see the pike. It's a pike, it's not a zander. This could be a huge moment for Luke Coppins. The pike, of course, have been the most difficult fish to find in this enormous sheet of water. Doesn't look very big, does it? But it doesn't matter. As long as it counts, gets them on the scoreboard. Oh, it's tiny. Tiny pike. Little jack. Tiny little pike like that could be worth so much to those two anglers.
The defending champions still need 3 perch and 3 zander for a full house, though. Back to boat 6, and their hunt for 3 perch and 2 more zander continues.
Isn't this an amazing... A fuel tanker out the herring fleet. We've left Markku.
So here we have it, as well as the main boat event. There's something called the street fishing event, and that is exactly what it appears. The guys are all on foot. There is 160 of them from 12 different countries. And in no time at all, the boys and girls are heading out through that main gate to try and get as many fish on the bank as they possibly can.
Street fishing is feeling. It's more than everything.
What made you come?
The fish, weather, the place, the people.
Street fishing I like because it's so easy. Yeah, you have to use a short rod, could walk a little bit and find some new spots every time.
Everything can happen in the city, so it's really nice, and yeah, it's the surrounding.
So we have an Englishman with us now. This is John Wheeler. John, foreign turf. How is it?
It's been tough. We've been practicing the last day and a half. It's been very tough. A few fish caught, but we're yet to find the big shoals that we're after for this kind of competition.
What are the target species?
Perch and zander for me. A few of the other guys are going for pike, but they've been caught recently, so I doubt they'll be caught again.
So why street?
Simplicity of it. One rod, one bag, go off, catch fish, easy.
Funky places as well.
Yeah. Interesting people.
Yeah, one of the nice things about this sort of fishing is it's very light and very easy. It's open and accessible to anyone. They've just got a small pack on the back, one light rod, landing net and a mat, and they can walk anywhere, get anywhere. It's taken the world by storm.
That's the
tiniest. I've just scaled up actually. I've just put a bigger hook on, so that's the biggest I've used all day. That's I'm just using a tiny little pink rod. I was going in any little cubby holes, you know, things, because really bright, you know, perch. I look for structure, shade, and everything else. And that's all I'm looking for.
It's really taken off this street fishing lark.
It's fantastic, mate. Yeah, it is really good to see. It's good to see young uns as well. You know, it's good to see young and trendy kids coming into it, because back in the UK we've all got big floppy hats and sandals and socks still. So it's, yeah, it's good to see a bit of colour.
You've got to say that it is quite a trendy sport, this, isn't it?
It's getting there. Yeah. It's,
what would you say to the guys that are watching this back at home and thinking, you know what, I quite fancy a go at that?
It's so accessible, and there's no real. It's a lot about watercraft, you know. There's not mega tactics involved. You can see it's a hook, it's a weight, and what I'm looking for is just fish where your watercraft comes into it. So anybody you can take a rod, you can take a small bag, and you can cover some miles, can't you? You know, we've got tons of canals in the UK.
The other part of the Predator Classic is the kayak fishing event. It's another relatively new discipline which has really started to catch on. Kayak anglers fish under their own power, using either paddles or pedals to get where they want to be. It's a hugely effective way of catching fish too. The kayak anglers were catching plenty. And after a short break for lunch, it was time for the street anglers to show us what they could do.
Here we have Torsten Rule from Germany with a big pike. It looks like it's 86 or 87 centimetres long. It's his first fish so far. So we have Florian Engelke here from Germany. Florian, that's a fantastic perch.
Thank you very much. It stands right under here, and when I pulled the bait up, it took it, and what a fight.
All day fishing was very difficult, and I think half an hour before the competition is finished, I caught this nice 1 meter pike. Really nice.
This event has opened up a whole new world for lure anglers. There's a feeling it's going to grow into something much bigger too.
Well, I've got the tournament founder with me now, Mr. Ross Honey. Ross, it's an absolutely fantastic event. Very, very exciting now here.
It really is. I think it's great to get so many different people in the street fishing event, the kayak fishing event, and of course the main boat event as well. And there's great competition amongst these anglers, and great anglers are participating as well from countries from all over the world, literally from Russia, America. It's fantastic.
Speaking of worldwide, what's going to happen next then? The Americans have got the bass side of things. You've now developed this over in Europe. What's going to happen next?
Well, that's where it gets really exciting. What will happen in 2017, we'll get a full American team of 21 of the top anglers to come over here to Europe, and they'll be taking on the top European and rest of the world anglers that have won this event over the last this year and the last few years.
Well, there we have it. That's it. It's getting very, very exciting for the future of this style of the sport, but what we want to know at the moment is what's going on back on the water.
After 2.5 days of drama, the World Predator Classic is nearly at an end. Defending champions Luke Coppens and Jeremy Staverman have now caught all but one of the fish they need to complete a full house. They have to catch one more zander. Meanwhile, Marco Tuusanen and Antti Antila already have 3 zander with this 74-centimetre pike. But they don't seem to be able to catch perch. Without those perch, they're in trouble.
So finally we've stopped moving, and there we see boat number 6. They're right at the start of the Shimano zone, and it looks to me as if they're fishing for perch. So obviously same routine as yesterday. They have to catch multi-species, 3 zander, 3 perch and a pike, and the pike is already in the bag. I would say that makes them favourites at this stage. A little move and it makes all the difference. Luke Coppens is playing a fish. Jeremy Staverman's is ready with the landing net. That looks like a decent fish. I wonder if it's a zander. A few minutes ago they were playing what we thought was a zander, which turned out to be the pike that they've been searching for all morning. And this zander could be a hugely significant catch.
This is zander.
We think it's a zander. We think it might be a good fish because that's taking a while to get up.
Yeah.
Oh, good fish, good fish. Fantastic. High five. That is a good zander.
Yeah, good.
A bit of support from the Marshall boat. Look at that, what a fish. Brilliant. Well, that's a full house for Luke and Jeremy, and that puts them right in the box seat at the top of the leaderboard, I reckon. Look at that for a zander. No wonder Luke Coppins is beaming. So tricky to do all of this on a little tiny boat with so much at stake. See, Luke shoves the ticket that's got his identification number on it. Tries not to fall over as he poses for the picture. Look at that. Sunlight glistening down its back, dorsal fin up. That zander is posing for the camera. Luke? Look at that. What a lovely fish. What did he measure? Oh, we forgot, we measure again. In the excitement. That's a 67 centimetre zander. That, in the context of this event, is a huge fish. 66. It's lost a centimetre in translation. Back he goes, down to the depths. Oh! Gives Luke Coppins a little bit of a face wash. Round of applause. Happy days. Brilliant piece of angling. Full house for Messrs Coppins and Stavermans. And look in the background what's happening here. In the background, as Luke and Jeremy have fulfilled each category on their card, Marku and Antti have arrived in the Rapala boat trying to do exactly the same thing, and they've been struggling. It may be they've arrived just too late. So now Luke and Jeremy have got all the fish they need to tick all the boxes on their card. Surely they're going to now walk away with the event, but no, because there is more drama to come here in the World Predator Classic. Jürgen Hies and Dustin Schoen are now hot on their heels, and they need to catch perch. They are catching perch at the top end of the venue, but there's a little bit of drama, as Rob Hughes will explain.
So we've got a bit of a steward's inquiry going on back here at the control room. Jürgen Hess and Dustin Schoen have now caught one of the perch that they're after, but there is a problem with it. What's up?
On each fish, we should be able to see a security image that we have. It's a sticker, you put it next to it. It should be readable, that we can easily identify the fish.
Okay.
If it's not identifiable, it's rejected.
Team 3, they need to catch perch. They have one perch at 42.
Currently.
And this one is how big?
And this is 42. Maybe it's the same fish, I'll double check.
Okay.
That's exactly what's going on. I see 2 times 42, so I'm going to check if the two are the same.
Perfect.
But now I cannot check it because I do not have the number.
Ah.
So at least I reject this one and wait until they come in and they need to prove me that that's another fish.
So there we have it. A fish has been submitted. It's 42 centimetres. We don't know whether it was the same fish as before, a new fish. There is a question over the security tag. Steward's inquiry in place. They have to send another photograph in. If it's good enough to qualify, it goes on the score sheet. If it's not and it can't be identified as a different fish from the first one, then it's out. Big, big news.
Now, if that fish is totally rejected, of course, that will have a massive impact on the result of this event. With a bit of luck, the guys will have taken a backup photograph, which is what they're supposed to do. They take one picture with one camera phone, they send that in, and they take a backup photograph in case there's a technical problem, and hopefully the second photograph will prove that that fish was caught. Now, that's not all they need one more. You've just heard that the Finnish pairing, Marku and Antti, are coming back. They've just had a load of zander, but it looks like this entire thing is going to go right down to the wire. What a fantastic fishing competition this is. Fish on. This is the moment the Germans have been waiting for. This is the perch that they need, I fancy. Is it a perch or is it a zander? Full of zander this morning. Yes, it's a perch. It's a great big perch. Look at that, what a fish. Fantastic. Now, after the problems they've had with their last perch, I fancy they'll be taking the photograph of this one very carefully indeed. That is a very nice looking fish. Now, they're not the only ones doing well. There are a couple of other boats that are also pushing their way up the leaderboard. Seems the fish are feeding this afternoon. Interesting, there's a bit more colour in the water, churned up by the additional wind we've got today. The predators feeding readily. So here is their prize. What a fantastic fish. That's a lovely perch, isn't it? What did he measure, guys? Measure? 43 centimetres. What a perch. Look at him, isn't he gorgeous? Bright red tail. So there we have the definitive picture of the perch, which has put the German boat in a very good position in this event. They've gone flying up the leaderboard on the final day of the competition. Jürgen Hies and Dustin Schoen. The perch comes back in. There he goes. Just let him recover a little bit. Nicely released by Dustin. Just holding onto the fish's tail to make sure that it gets some oxygen going through its gills. Make sure it swims off strongly. All important to release these fish safely. Back he goes. Clean of the hands. Little wave goodbye. And a high five. Happy days.
That perch gives the Germans a full house and pushes them into second place overall. Now they need to catch some bigger fish to increase their points total and catch Luke Coppens and Jeremy Staverman. Marco Chusonen and Antti Antila have spent all afternoon trying to catch the 3 perch they need to overtake the leaders, but it's just not happening. All they seem to be able to catch is Zander, and the clock is ticking down. The boats have to be alongside in Hellevoetsluis by 4 p.m. and it's time to open up those engines once again.
So there goes boat number 1 with Luke and Jeremy on board. Are we looking at last year's champions of the World Predator Classic successfully defending their title? They're heading home.
Well, the bells have just chimed 5 o'clock. There's an awful lot of firepower coming down the channel because the competition, both street and on the water, has finished. And what a glorious event it's been.
It's been fantastic. Look, they're even opening the bridge for us. I can't believe it. Yacht going through, all the boats are coming back. Yesterday when we finished, I thought we were going to struggle today because the weather forecast was poor. It was going to be dull, it was going to be windy. Well, like always, the weather forecast has been 100% wrong. Glorious sunshine. The fishing conditions have been absolutely perfect. Seen some of the best lure angling I've ever seen anywhere in the world. And I fancy we know who the winners of this competition are.
Well, you've got to look at Luke and Jeremy, not just over the course of the weekend, but through the course of their career. They're just absolutely unstoppable. Is there anybody out there that we think can touch them? That's us. From the bridge in this magnificent town at a magnificent event. And it is all over by the champagne shake.
So here's confirmation of the final totals from the 2015 World Predator Classic. Luke Coppens and Jeremy Staverman held on to their title with an incredible display of angling. Jürgen Hies and Dustin Schoen were second. The team prize went to Rapala, whose boats finished 3rd and 4th overall. But there was no one capable of taking the main trophy away from these unbeatable Belgians.
Three days ago, if I see this crowd and we come here and you think by yourself, oh my God, do I make a chance? Do I make a chance with all these good fishermen? And day by day, you see you will make a chance. So yeah, we did it again. But yeah, we just did what we do. It's unbelievable.
How are you feeling now?
Very, very happy, and I feel the same. It's incredible. You cannot. We call each other, and we say it is true. We have won this. We have won that.
It's just a perfect. We are a perfect team, to be honest. We are a very, very good team. It's teamwork. Every fish we catch, it's teamwork.